go arm in arm, Estes. That's right. But we've got a definite theme to the day. It is also 11/11.
Oh, what's the significance of that? I don't know. I've been hearing that all day, but I don't know what that means.
I mean, if you're anyone that like believes in angel numbers or, manifesting portals, it's like one of those. There's something about the numerology of the day that's going to be really good for manifesting. So, I'm going to try right now and manifest a really good show tonight. How about that?
I think that's awesome. Cool. Please, I hope we have a great show. We have a great lineup. And thank you. You picked all the poets today.
Yes, I did. I've been meeting. I don't know if it's like you put out something and it comes back to you, but I feel like I've just been running into fabulous poets all over town, and it is warming the little cockles of my heart so much. I feel like, I felt like I was the only person still doing poetry in their 30s. This was inspired by me being such a poetry kid in high school. And so running into all these adults, keeping that poetry love alive is just so inspiring.
I know. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think poetry is something everyone needs. Everyone needs to do it. I think we need to remind ourselves that we have to share it with each other. So I'm excited for today. What? I don't have a poem to read yet. Let me see. I'll pick one randomly. Oh man, let me see here. All right, here. This is a short poem. So, well, I know that our other speaker wanted a long, or I'll do a longer poem than to buy time.
Good.
All right.
Always good to stretch.
Yes. Okay. This is poem 309. I've had to give myself the love I never received as a child. I've had to be the best friend to myself that I didn't have growing up. I've had to become the superhero who saves my life over and over. I don't think anyone neglects on purpose. Neglect gets passed down from one generation to the next. Each generation is so poor that surviving together becomes the family standard of love. But I've been given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to break the cycle, to give the love and empathy to the people who came before me. We're limited in giving and receiving, passing and growing. I can stop being the macho alpha male who rules with fear because he doesn't know how to be vulnerable enough to be loved. I mean, like real love, the kind of love that heals. I have to be the person I always needed growing up: warm, loving, non-judgmental, kind, encouraging, and the million different things I needed as a child. So that's who I'm going to become. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. It's just dealing with adults in my family or other adults. It's like you got to give them love they never got in a way.
Oh, yes. I feel like growing up is a big theme that we tend to hit on a lot here. Which always comes back to your parents, they really just like, what is it? They installed all the buttons. That's how they know how to press them.
That's true. It's just, my parents and their parents all like came from extreme poverty. So I think the thing was they were so poor that raising children was the last thing that they cared about.
Yeah. My family always raised by Holocaust survivors. So it was like, well, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, there you go. It's like whatever they went through, your life is a luxury dream compared to theirs. So,
right.
Yeah, there is that element to it as well. It's like, well, we can still be nice to each other and be kind and stuff. But
right. That really doesn't comfort a crying child to hear that you're lucky you're not in the Holocaust.
Oh my God. Did your parents tell you that?
I feel like every Jewish kid got that at least once.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I mean, at least they're being upfront with you. That's pretty cool. I mean, in some way, I guess.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Glad to know. Yeah, no, my parents never said it, but they say it a different way, but they don't want to talk about that stuff. But they should talk about it. Well, let's bring on our first poet. Do you want to intro them, Samantha?
Yeah, coming straight out of the Holocaust. Just kidding. God. A better intro than that. She's a delightful poet. Another one that I ran into and was like, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited to see a poet in the wild. She also does comedy, very, very talented. Please welcome Brianna Allmark.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Brianna.
All of my poetry, I don't keep it on I'm not professional. I don't type it up anywhere. It's all in my notebooks, like scrambled.
I feel like that is the proper way to keep poetry.
Yeah, I mean, like my notebooks, if you want to see just a little peek, it's like some of it's written straight and sideways and like curved. I'm real all over the place.
Carrie, what? T.S. Eliot? Is that? You come
Done.
No worries.
Okay.
I think however you have it written down doesn't matter as long as it's a reflection of you, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so
Are you ready to go?
I am. I have like a variety. There's some, maybe deep ones and other little goofy ones.
All right, take it away. It's all yours.
I love
Okay.
it. The rainbow of poetry.
Thank you. All right. Speak softly and carry a big purse. Carry a purse so big you can hardly think amid the boundless struggle to bear weight and forget that you're a person and a woman who could drop at any time and run. Carry a purse so big you look busy all the time, just searching for something inside it, and men won't bother you for fun. And maybe you'll find something entirely new that fell in there right out of the blue. Carry a purse so big it carries you. Carry a purse so big you crawl inside for when you're in public and want to hide.
Oh, I love that.
That's a really good poem. You should do more with that.
Yeah. As a woman with a big purse, that really touched me.
I've switched over recently to a crossbody satchel, and it helps.
Yes. Oh, I went backpack for my shoulders years ago for my scoliosis, but that's the biggest purse.
Maybe I'll do a sequel to that. The crossbody satchel. Okay. Into the oven, my body won't fit, and I can't seem to shut it with this big oven mitt. It's so hot, my leg is shrinking. A toe came off, my eyes are sinking. So much effort gone into my cooking. Now I'll live and be even worse looking.
Oh, I love
Weird.
it. They have like a real Grimm's fairy tale vibe of like the horrors of reality with a rhyme scheme, which is so
nice. Sometimes it's just nonsense. Okay, this is the funny bits. You guys won't recognize any of this. It's raining. It's pouring. The old man is, oh my God, the old man is gone. Who took the old man? All of his things are here. This can't be. Call the cops.
I feel like that's like the dangers of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I think it's an award-winning children's book.
Thank you. Thank you.
What about your poem so far is there's definitely stories, so keep going.
Oh, sweet. Somewhere over the rainbow is where I last saw my keys. I think that's where I left my keys. This is so bad. We're going to be so late. I'm so sorry. Forgive me, please.
That definitely feels like from the Notebook of the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland.
Ooh, thank you. If I lay here, if I just lay here, do you think the Roomba will move around me or no? This one's a little darker. It's one of my favorites. All of these are untitled, by the way. I don't know. Baby in a bag. Zip him up before he gags. Life itself is hard to swallow. Keep him there, safe and hollow. Baby, baby, baby. Dead baby in a bag. Okay. Stop signs get depression too. They're always red, but sometimes blue. They'll never tell you how much they hurt. They'll just start napping in piles of dirt. That one comes with a photo. This was a stop sign that I saw on the ground.
You really stopped.
Yeah, it really stopped. It stopped stopping.
Wow.
How much time do I have left?
Let's take a minute or two. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. So
Very loose about it.
Okay, this one's a little more tender. Don't go off somewhere, please mind. Stay with me forever on this earth, however miserable and divine. Don't go off somewhere, please mind. When I need to cradle and clear you, just stay with me, mind. I don't know what I'd do if I lost you. I'll take better care of you, I promise. And you will be okay. Just tell me what you need to hear, and I'll repeat it all the days. There is nothing I love more than you, my precious mind. And even though sometimes we fight, and I'll say ugly things about you, you have parts and places that are kingdoms of ecstasy and warm huts that nurture my child. I thank you for the good you give, and I'll remember to take more of it. Just stay with me for a while.
That was so sweet.
Thanks. Let's see. Oh, I like this one. I've not read it before. Okay. I am good. 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 I am good, said the soup to herself before anyone could. Sniff her or give her a taste if they should. Maybe not like her or spill her or fight her. Who would fight soup? I know you are thinking, but maybe she said something, or maybe you're drinking. So just in case you give her a try, the soup has to feel for herself how she's good and why.
Oh, I love that.
Oh man, that was really good.
That was
really
very hearty soup poem.
It's like some soup for the soul. Thank you. That was
Yes, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Brianna. I love
yeah.
your mix of earnestness and wit. It's delightful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, you should do something with those poems. They had a feel to them. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe I don't want to say it's stand up, but like you should consider sharing them again. There's something about them, like hearing them out loud that I really enjoyed.
Thank you so much.
I know. I was just thinking we should do like a poetry podcast. I would totally just put this on and listen to it while I'm driving around.
Ooh, I actually, on Being, that podcast where there's the guy on there, he reads poetry out loud.
Oh, I've heard like The Moth, but that's like more intense.
I can send it to you. That's good. And I would love to do a podcast.
Let's do it. New poetry shows in the work. We're manifesting.
Yeah.
11/11. Things are going to come into being.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Brianna.
Thank you, Brianna. Thank you. Wow, that was awesome. Good. What a great poet you brought in. Thank you, Samantha, for.
It's great, and I love that we find people with like such different styles. Like we had that slam poet a few weeks ago, and then we've got free verse, we've got rhyming. It's just really delightful to hear all the different takes on poetry.
Yes. I'm just like, all right, I got a front row seat to just some amazing poet, and I'm gonna enjoy it. Speaking of front row seat to an amazing poet, Samantha, are you ready to share your first work?
Yes. I usually read one poem I wrote in high school and one poem that I wrote recently, and then have everyone guess at the end which is which it has never been a even vote. There's always at least one person that gets it wrong, which I don't know if it's flattering to high school me or like I really haven't grown to recent me. But I found this poem in my journal, and I had to read it because it's gonna give away the time of it when I say it. But my birthday's in a week, and when I wrote this, my birthday was also in a week. So it just felt like timing wise, I had to do it. I had no choice. But I also definitely just say my age because you'll see just how I've always been this much. From the high school notebook, The Way Things Must Be. I find myself lacking of truth. Perhaps that is why my writing sits so distastefully in my pen and sneers at me from lined pages. I tend to write of love stories that never happened. I try to spark a page from a flame within that was never lit. Denial is my curse's lowly name. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt. Denial is the flood that surges over me in every smile, that drowns me in an insomniatic sleep and makes me wake gasping for air. Perhaps it is the lies of what you see that wrap me in a haze and make my pen leak falsities. In daylight, I am a vagrant, To judgmental eyes, I am unsatisfactory, too rebellious for my own good, too confused to find my way, too short to ride your ride. But in the dusk, I rise. I am purified in the bath of darkness, baptized in stars, and I am holy. Perhaps that is why I find myself spouting inner monologues to my walls at 2 a.m., too tired to find a pen, too full to keep it trapped inside. So I suppose now, after 15 years of talking to empty rooms and picture-framed audiences, at 8:23 p.m. on a Wednesday, November night, I will have to suffice for my revelations. My birthday is next Saturday, and I vow to be reborn. That's not too cliche. I shall write truth, and I shall see just how different finding inner truth is at the tender age of 16. But at least the flesh is tender, and I won't have to cut too deep to find something to bleed out on paper.
Yeah, that's beautiful. How do you feel reading that?
Oh, she had no idea.
Ah,
Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Oh, you thought. Oh, you thought. Like, I just want to just grab my face and be like, just be happy for a second while you can.
oh,
You know, I feel that our high school selves or teen selves, there was like a true version of who we were, just distorted in some extreme, and maybe we come back to that. So maybe you saying that like that was true for you, that just shows that maybe you've always been that way. You just have had to learn to accept who you are in through your journey.
Oh my gosh, Fernando, you're doing therapy on me.
Oh, I mean, it was very. I mean,
Feel very connected. Like, I'm happy I'm still doing some poetry and honoring that.
I mean, you're really deep for 16 years old. I don't think I was writing stuff like that. That's
Yeah. I mean, trauma will do that to you.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, that was very deep, and you know, I mean, I don't know. Do we change? Isn't personality? Aren't you who you are your whole life? Isn't personality fixed at some point? I don't know.
You have a certain base, but you can definitely add and remove pieces and become a pastiche of everything that you've been through.
That's true. You're totally right. You're totally right. Yeah. Yeah. Today I was driving and I was like, I can't believe I'm in my 30s.
Ah,
I still feel like a kid. I was like, oh shit.
yeah.
There was a bunch of kids out today because it was Veterans Day. And I was like, oh, good for you kids playing hooky. And I was like, no, it's Veterans Day. They're just enjoying it.
Oh no, they're Veterans Day. Those children are veterans.
Yeah. Oh man. So I was like, I'm an adult now. Oh, but you know, thank you for sharing that. And maybe the next one, I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yes. Thank you for providing me a safe space to read poetry again. That is coming back to inner self. It's really beautiful.
Yes. I mean, we have to have the space. Would you like to intro our next poet?
Yes, our next poet is another fantastic female poet that I've seen around, who just gave me that burst of life from when I used to first read like Shel Silverstein poems, and when people do rhyme schemes so beautifully, it just tickles my heart so much. Please welcome Abby Schechner. Is that how, did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
First of all, hey, I'm so happy to be here. This is like the deepest thing I've done in so long. You guys, you're so, open and creative and on it, just articulate. I'm just in awe. So,
Thank you.
So I think I'm going to do a poem called The Zipper Mouth Prince. That's what I'm going to choose. Okay, The Zipper Mouth Prince. And I really want a jewel pod, but I don't have a jewel pod. So I'm going to suffer here without a jewel.
It's like a Chappelle special.
Oh my God, I know. I'm like a children's show to a Chappelle special. Okay, here we
it's
go.
perfect.
The Zipper Mouth Prince. I might even sip a beer occasionally during it. Once there was an ungrateful boy who demanded things like sweets and toys. His mother, the queen, gave him what he asked to avoid all tantrums and aftermaths. The ungrateful boy, he had a name. Prince Zach was it, and he could blame the sun, the stars, his mom, his dad, for all the things he wished he had. But truth is, he had everything. Toys that bopped and beeped and zinged. He even wore a diamond ring. He was a prince, a demanding one too, until one day the king said, "That's enough, I am through. Our son, he blames the seas, the stars, he blames the horses, he blames my cigars. I'll teach him a lesson if he keeps on complaining. He's spoiled and rotten, it's incredibly draining." The queen simply smiled, she nodded her head, then left to tuck Zachy up in his bed. The next day was just like all of the others. Zach was rude to his father, not so nice to his mother. He wanted the latest, the newest, the brightest. His sheets were the softest and always the whitest. And when that wouldn't do, when it wasn't enough, his mom would just give him more and more stuff. One year for his birthday, Zach was given a boat. He never rode it. It stayed in the moat. After a week, he said, "Nah, it's no fun. I want the newer, better one." And more, his mom would bring him toys that bopped and whirred and zinged, candy, chocolates, bubble gum, but nothing ever pleased her son. So she bought Prince Zach a giant slide, an air balloon for private rides, a clown for juggling, new trees for climbing, and one sad chap who was supposed to be miming, which, if you don't know, requires precision and timing. But this didn't please Zach. He wanted more. "I want the sea, I want the shore, I even want the ocean floor, and I deserve it because I'm Prince Zach." The king almost had a heart attack. "The ocean floor," exclaims his dad. "This isn't good, it's gotten bad. Our son's growing up, he'll be a teen. Do something, you're his mother, the queen." This all has an X out in it, like I'm editing it, but anyway. But the queen, of course, was in total denial. She'd say, "That's our son," with a whimper and smile. So Prince Zach did what he pleased all day and always got his way. The king was embarrassed, ashamed of his son. A prince like this should not be the one to lead all the people to inherit the crown. Imagine what people are thinking in town. The queen said, "I know it's utterly shaming, but isn't it you now who's continually blaming?" The king, he nodded. "I suppose it's true, but I'm at a loss of what to do. How do we teach him to treat others kind?" The king rose from his throne when a thought came to mind. The king's eyes widened, he clutched the queen. "Perhaps what I'm thinking is rather extreme. We'll send him far away from here, give him a taste of fright and fear. Then we'll search for him after a year or 2 or 3, it all depends, when Zach grows up and this behavior ends." The queen was worried it might not work, but we have to do it because our son's a jerk. So they sent Prince Zach out to the forest where people were needy, the hungry, the poorest. And they dropped him off and hoped nature would teach him because obviously nothing they did could reach him. And as luck would have it, Zach met a witch who liked to sew and craft and stitch. And despite her provisions, meaning a bed and some food, Zach wasn't gracious. In fact, he was rude. "What is this? You call this soup? It tastes like eggs and monkey poop." The witch, she smiled. "Oh, do you think?" She stirred the pot and gave a wink. "How was your nap? Did you like your bed? Did you get to rest your weary head?" "About my bed," Prince Zach suggested. "It's rather hard. I'm not well rested. The blanket's rough and much too itchy. I couldn't sleep because I felt too twitchy. Maybe you ought to go into town and buy me a mattress made of down." The witch just listened and shook her head. She reached for the spices and they all turned to thread. "I'm not sure, boy, if you know, but I'm a witch who likes to sew." And poof, a frog hopped from the pond. Her ladle turned into a wand. "You've been in my hovel not even a week. Perhaps you should think before you speak. You insult my bed, you critique my soup." She grabbed some thread and made a loop. Then with sounds of clips and snips and zips, she put her finger to her lips. "Oh, fairest, fairest of these lands," she reached out with her bony hands. "I'm not evil, but here's my confession. This prince right here, he needs a lesson." The roof exploded from the shack, and guess what happened to Prince Zach? His mouth, it narrowed, it turned thin, and something happened from within. Slowly, stitches formed their way across his lips. He tried to say, "Help and stop," but it was no use. He couldn't even drink his juice. "My," she cackled, "how divine. I don't like boys who act out of line, so I sewed upon your ungrateful face 2 stitched up lips with a zipper in place." Prince Zach wanted to scream. He wanted to scold her. If he had lips, he sure would have told her, "You're in trouble, you're fired, time for a beheading." And to think it was all about some soup and some bedding. The prince grabbed his blanket and headed out for the hills, ignoring the cold and sleeping through chills. And day after day, his lips didn't stir. They barely could move. He couldn't even say burr. Soon came the snow and the ice and the rain. The prince spoke not a word. He never complained. Over time, he grew stronger, more noble, more quiet. And having lip zips for your lips is sure quite a diet. But the prince became someone so handsome and sure, it's almost without words. His thoughts became pure. And as opposed to complaining, he spent time admiring. He saw beauty in people. He found nature inspiring. And the distance he traveled was really quite tiring. Then one day, resting by a brook, he peeked through trees and caught a look of a beautiful princess, a beautiful girl, her long flowing locks that were perfectly curled. And he watched her drink water and frolic and play. And he wanted to speak in the most incredible way. And with each word of kindness he thought to say, his stitches slowly went away. They popped and pulled, and in one quick zip, he felt the tingle in his lip. And as fate would have it, his words came out mumbled, his tongue tripped on his teeth, and it all came out jumbled. He cleared his throat and he tried to speak, but his words came out in a high-pitched squeak. The kind princess smiled and said, "Here, take my hand. You don't have to speak because I understand." And then in that brief little moment, the spell was completed. The stitch of the witch and her curse was defeated. And the king and the queen were truly in awe. Prince Zach had grown so they couldn't believe what they saw. And Zach soon ruled the kingdom, a proud, noble king, not much for jewels or for other fine things. He said, "Get out in nature, go travel, make art." And he was a fair king who ruled with his heart, but mostly King Zach always thought before speaking to avoid any unwanted zippers or squeaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should turn that into a book, like Samantha said. That was really cool.
Thank you.
That is like a new classic. I feel like I need the moral of that right now very much. Isn't that the basis of manifesting? Our words are spells. They have power.
Yes, that's true. What I liked about that, Abby, was that it was I feel like it was a coming of age story of a person who needed to be humbled, but in their humility they found the beauty of living. And I think a lot of people never have that, and they're never grateful for what they have, and they could have a lot sometimes. So there's a lot of messages there that I really resonated with. You should really think about turning that into a book or something. I really dug it.
Oh, absolutely. I want to thank, I saw in the chat too that we're being rated, so I just hope that they really enjoy poetry, because I really doubt people on Twitch were expecting this. Thank you for staying and hanging out in our Twitch.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Rating. Okay, this is a good rate though, it seems.
Yeah, I think
So thank you, Stab Comedy from Sacramento. And Digital Dax said that was amazing. I think that was a reference to your poem, Samantha. Yeah, okay, awesome. That's great. Hey, whoever wants to raid, go for it. come support. I'll read my second poem then. So let me see here. Let me find one. Pick a random one.
I know we've got a spread from light to dark. I love the colors we're getting this time.
All right, let me see if I could find. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Okay, poem 285. So this is for the 285th day of the week of the year. No one ever talks about the safety you need to show up as your full self. I've been told to be quiet, to shut up, to know my role, not think, go through the proper channels, pay my dues, pay my respects, bow, defer, genuflect, recognize, and not make direct eye contact. I've had my decisions and opinions questioned, mocked, overanalyzed, edited, erased, undermined, stolen, co-opted, attributed to someone else. But when my genius is needed, I'm called into action to put out a fire I didn't start, and others are depending on me to beat into submission. I'm just an asset attached to a body, an inseparable body, a spirit tied to a machine. Don't these people believe in something bigger, at the very least in my humanity, my value, my life? My life has value because of my life, not because I can make stuff. I make stuff because I like making it, but that's not the reason why I'm alive. The other option is to create a space created specifically for me, for my full self, where I can express myself through my full range of motion. And you know what? It works every time. Yeah. Jobs. That's all I'll say.
A reminder to all of us, make the things because you want to make the things.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. Being an adult sucks because you have to work. All right, that's off my soapbox. Unless you have your own TV show that you love, which I hope you all get your own TV show that you love, or whatever the equivalent of that
Right?
is. Yeah.
We all get a TV show together. Wouldn't that be crazy if next year we're like, oh my God, you guys.
The Dazed and Confused Poetry Club show on Netflix. Hey, who knows?
We're manifesting today. We're manifesting shows, we're manifesting podcasts. Yeah, maybe world peace. I don't know. We'll throw something nice out there for everyone else too.
I hope so. Do you want to intro our next poet, Samantha?
Sure. The next poet is a friend to the Pack Theater and the Pack Theater Twitch. Another very funny person who I think we're going to see a different side of. I saw he is now a published poet. So I don't know if he'll be sharing that one with us or something else, but please welcome Dan Duddy.
Hey.
Wow. That was really nice. Can you hear me, by the way? I'm speaking into my mic, which is on the ground. All right, cool.
Yeah, we can hear you, yeah.
All right. Well, no, I'm not going to. Maybe I'll pull it out. I don't know. Pull up my big old published poem. I figured I'd just do embarrassing ones instead.
We can take a little, non-professional amateur poems as well.
Well, what poem? I read it, but where was it published again? And where can we find it? Is there a link?
There is a link. It's Silverblade magazine, literary magazine. And you could probably find it through Google, searching the internet if you want to.
We're already on the internet, so I think everyone will be able to work a Google.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I feel like I don't even like it that much. Like, I feel like I like the other ones that I have another published one, and maybe I'll read that one too. But that one, I think, is just, I like the ones that are dumb,
You know what's funny? I was thinking today how artists always hate their biggest hits because they get played the most, they're requested the most. But that's what people think of when they think of the artist. So it's funny that you say that.
My biggest hits. I think I made $8 from it.
Hey man, that's a cheap lunch right there.
Yeah.
That's more than a lot of people have made from their poetry.
Well, all right. Let me humble myself real quick. This next poem is about Titanic that I wrote for a girl named Rose. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I still think about that time we watched Titanic together, cuddled up, compacted like steam in a kettle. We drank tea and left the tea leaves alone, and the couch was a ship, and your smile the wind, and I swore we could go anywhere, no compass required. Of course I thought us unsinkable. Everyone always does, and everyone thinks their love to be a boat, and every song playing their anthem. I'm just saying I'm glad we hit an iceberg. At least then we could never reach land. At least then we could never go home. End of poem.
Ooh, we'll make a dark ending a happy ending. Love a twist.
Was it about a hot summer romance?
all my poems are about banging, probably, or about wanting to bang, not banging. I don't know about not hot summer romance, but
well, there was an iceberg, so
yeah, cold summer romance. I'll do another one. This is also about banging. This one's called The Cold. You roll off me, and now frigid, I shudder. I dream of later times, not when you are gone and I'm completely healed, but of the cold again. Your arms around my neck, a scarf. End of poem.
So I love just the non-equivocal end of poem.
Well, that way you know.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I like poems that are very, nothing left up in the air, nothing gray, nothing murky.
Yeah.
What poetry?
They should all be very clear what you're saying. Okay. Let me do another one. This one's also about banging. It's called Wait. They say if you slow your breathing, time slows down. I remember this only after. A sputtering of breath like a skipping rock, a drowning man's last gasp for air. I struggle to hold this. God, please just give me this one moment still. My chin nuzzled against your collarbone, your breath jabbing my ear, skin clinging to sheets, your skin, my skin. Sometimes I fear, without your weight on top of me, I'll float away.
Ooh.
End of poem.
I like that. I felt that end.
That was
Thank
good,
you.
man.
That was good. I think we are now going to have to release a book of poems called Da Da Da, and this one's also about banging.
Yeah, that'll be the name of the book. I like that.
I love it. I mean, it's a good poetry theme for a reason.
How much time do I have? Can you give me the light or something?
Yeah, you got. If you got one more, go for it.
All right. Let me see. I'll do this one. This one isn't about banging, but maybe it is. Maybe you could read into it.
We'll figure out how to make it about banging.
Yeah. This one is about prison, something I've never been in, but maybe I was projecting. I don't know. I wrote it a while ago. Santa doesn't get letters from Cell Block D. Also a Christmas poem. I'm Jewish, so a lot of projecting. The tree, pine carved underneath the sink with a whittled plastic fork. Smokes frosted in a 12-day ash, line our cell, stuffed stockings. Buck plucks the bars and it rings, church bells. Mistletoe, a dangling bulb above the phone and 5 extra minutes to make smooching sounds into it. Only the newbies ever line up. Buck flicks the radio and static crackles, a roasting ham. Toy soldiers, the newbies' eyes slush with Christmas wishes. They clutch steamy letters from their wives, cheeks rosy red, kissed by outside air, tongue stuck to when I get home. Frostbite. The eggnog, a whiff of sinus-snapping breath. The guard snickers Merry Christmas and enters. He searches us but doesn't spot the chew stashed in my mattress to put later under the tree. From me to me, my present. The unwrapping, not of chew, the newbies tear through as they dial, but of apologies held packaged so long. They imagine her voice smoldering, a fireplace. But no, only burp, 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 disconnected phone, the Christmas jingle. Christmas, we watch 'em, me, Buck, and remember days when we too thought some chains couldn't break. The letters dropping from hands, fluttering to the ground. First snow.
End of poem.
End of poem. Thank you.
That was lovely. That was about not being able to bang.
Yeah, I guess it was. So, yeah.
I love that. I find as a Jew, there's something so wistful to me about Christmas because it's like this emotional touchstone for everyone that always feels like a thing you're left out of. Like there's always that blue Christmas vibe.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know.
You're just throwing it out there, I guess. Not a question so much as a statement of feeling.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Dude, your poems are really good, man. Thanks for sharing them.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Very good Scorpio season poetry.
Yes. It is Scorpio season, so go and disrupt something. Samantha, do you want to bring us home with your poem?
Okay, I will do. I wonder if we should do like hey, does anyone want to be followed on social media? Do they have anything to plug? Because I'm going to do a poem that I did just kind of write, but it did make me very sad. So I don't know if it's a good
we could do the plugs before. How about everyone do your plugs real fast before?
Yeah, let's do like the happy plugs before I do the sad poem.
Yeah, Brianna, do you want to go first, or is there anything you're plugging, or where can we find you on the social media?
Yeah, you can find me on all the socials with my name, BRIANNA, Allmark, AHLMARK. And I like go up and do, I wouldn't call it stand up, but I'm just like fucking weird on stage. I have a show that is on the 17th at 7 at the Broadwater stage.
Nice.
That right? Is that correct?
Yeah, right there on Santa Monica by the complex.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I've not been here very long. So, yes, and that is also, if anyone knows her, Caroline Cummings' birthday show. So it's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's November 17th at 7 p.m.
Awesome.
It'll be fun. Cool.
Oh, thank you. Abby, do you want to give some plugs or your socials?
Oh, I am at your, and I say down dash friend down dash Abby. That's my Instagram. And I'm a stand-up. You know, the children's poetry I got to pursue. So I'm doing a show too on November 17th, but I'm doing it at 8. It's at Fourth Wall on Hollywood. And then I'm doing a show on the 23rd at this place called the Sunset Grill. But maybe I'll post it if you follow me on Instagram. But that's what I do. I do stand up, and hopefully I'll do the children's stuff more. Thank you so much for this opportunity tonight to share and to listen to you all. I know there's more poetry, but I appreciate you including me.
Of course. Thanks for coming. Your poem was great. Dan?
I don't remember my socials. Google Dan Duddy and you'll find me. I have nothing to plug.
Great.
Right, we'll just Google Dan Duddy and just go down that rabbit hole.
I always change them. I don't know.
They put the link to one of your poems in the Twitch chat. So if anyone wants to check that out after our show is done,
Wow.
take a click.
All right, Samantha. For me, just
Do you have anything?
Fernando Ifunes, just follow me. I'm doing tons of shows. Just tons of shows. Check it out. November 20th, Glendale Room. New Latinx County Pachanga, doing a show there. November 12th, tomorrow night, doing a big improv show at Thimley Arts. December 12th, doing a show. Catsby is back. The clubhouse is reopening, so come check out Catsby at Pachanga Block right there. December 18th, big sketch show. Complex, Latinx County Pachanga. Yeah, more shows. Those are the ones I can think on top of my head. But come check out all the stuff.
Exciting. Another Scorpio. We're all Scorpios here. My birthday this week. I'm doing a show this Sunday at 5 p.m. at Flappers. Sunday Monday show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think then also at the 16th at the Nightcap, the Friends Only show, and on the 19th in Temecula somewhere. I will post on my socials at Sam's Sweets on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I don't really use it, but I'm there. Yeah. So you can follow everyone and see when we're being funny in our off time when we're not writing poetry.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, you ready?
Okay, yes. So this is a poem that I just wrote. Starting to realize that all the men who want to be there for me when I say that my mother just died are the same men that really want to help me get home safe from the bar when I'm really too drunk. The kind of people that see opportunity in suffering and tell themselves that you actually like the exploitation. Real, genuine capitalists. I was always taught as a child that asking for help was a weakness by parents who didn't know how or didn't want to or just plain couldn't help. So I began to think that help is never given easily, is never truly selfless. There's always a catch. Years later, I find myself an adult, broken by time, tired and empty and helplessly caught in the mutilated net of someone else's suffocating version of help. I've been finding little wounds to distract myself from your death, like giving yourself a paper cut, which temporarily hurts more than a broken foot, or hitting your hand with a hammer to forget about your headache. These heartbreaks and panic attacks are all a welcome break from the constant torment of a bottomless grief. It's so tempting to just live inside a glass of whiskey for the next 10 years or so, only coming up for air on weekends and holidays. Just twisting in the wind of my self-created chaos, desperately tracing the outline of the hole inside where your love used to be. Wondering if it's so hard to let go of all of the pain because it feels so much like you. And now that's all I have left. And I just don't want to forget you. You told me once to never stop writing poetry. So I'm throwing these words aimlessly into the air, hoping that somehow they find their way to you. End of poem. Thank you. See, it's harder to do plugs now, but that's
hey guys, November 20th, come to the Glendale room, doing a show.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna do comedy at Flappers this Sunday if I please come.
No, that was a beautiful poem. That was yeah, you put a bunch of guys on notice, and men are terrible. I mean, I'm a man, so I'm terrible too. Dan, you're terrible too. Sorry to tell you.
We all have shadow selves. It's okay.
No, but I think you said, I think poetry is, it says something people can relate to. And I think what you said, I know it's deeply personal, but there's a lot of people out there who they're sharks. And if someone's weak or vulnerable in some way, they want to exploit it for their own ends. And, when you're in that position, you think you're being helped, but really you're being set up for further abuse. So.
Yeah. Sometimes you think you're telling people you're vulnerable so that they'll be careful with you. But sometimes they see that as an invitation.
Yeah, man, there's some terrible people out there. And yeah, they just, there's takers. If you're a giver and you meet a taker, like a real taker, like where they just take and take and take and get mad if you don't give them more, then like you got to get away from that person. So. Your poem was very true, Samantha. There was dripping truth.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so wet. I'm so wet with truth right now.
I think we all are, right?
I regret having that come out of my mouth, but
I think we'll be okay. I think the Pack Twitch channel will be taken down.
Yeah, we're safe in the Pack Twitch. Pack Twitch is a safe space. Thank you so much to the Pack Twitch for letting us do this crazy little thing here that we've decided to do in a comedy theater space. I think, as I said in one of my promos, they say comedy is tragedy plus time. This is tragedy plus rhyme. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Ooh.
There's that like old cholo tattoo that's like smile now, cry later. And, if you're able to laugh really hard, you're able to cry really hard. So, we need this show as well. How about before we go, let's just review for everyone something they liked about today. Just one more final goodbye. Cool. Brianna, do you want to go first?
Yeah, you mean about my entire day or this?
Or it could be about whatever. Specifically this hour, but yeah, if you get a good breakfast, sure, go for it.
I loved the variety, first off, and also, Abby, you have inspired me to write longer poems, because you really dug in there, and I love the storyline. It was just, it was like Samantha said, reminded me of Shel Silverstein, where there's just so much to dive into, and you kept digging more and more. It's great.
Well, I'm going to take and then jump off of yours, and I'm going to catch that ball and say, I want to, clean it. I like the succinctness and the kind of so personal uniqueness of yours and the depth of everybody else that I heard, and the way you just all were so true to yourselves to me in how you expressed yourselves. And I can only imagine in all the other facets that you express yourself is just, beautiful and charming, and I'd be dazzled just the same. So I'm so glad I got to be a part of this. It was really, I want to do it again, and thanks for inspiring. You really did. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Dan?
Yeah, I thought the variety was really cool and surprising. The depth, but also the humor in them. That was I didn't really know what to expect. It was a really good lineup. Yeah.
Thank you. Your voice has gone crazy, robot.
Oh no. Well, whatever.
Not during the poems though. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate, especially today when I know everyone here is also in comedy, how we can sort of pull apart our little laughy covers and look at all the gushy little feels inside. And it's just, this is one of the most fulfilling shows that I do. Thank you, Fernando, for helping inspire and create this space. And thank you to Ted, our tech, who every week does such a good job bringing us all on and off and working in the chat and just adds so much to this show. So thank you.
Thank you, Ted. You're a superhero, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just like hearing everyone's work. Everyone's just amazing. It was just like, this is a great hour. Yeah, thanks a bunch. Thank you for watching, and yeah, have a great week, y'all. Come see us next time.
Get to do this in person. We'd love to have you all back sometime.
Yeah, see you guys.